what you actually need when you feel uncomfortable in your body. And maybe even a little farther than that, you even recognize when you do feel uncomfortable in your body. Sometimes you're just working so hard and on such an autopilot that you don't even know. The next thing you know is your hand is in the chip bag and you're eating a whole bag of brownies and then you're freaked out saying I'm a food addict, when in reality, no, there actually was a lot of signs leading up to that we just weren't able to be present to because your mind is moving too quickly. That led to the hand in the brownie bag. And if we can support you to figure what that is out and find the root cause of it, you get your power back, and then you don't have habits like that happening anymore. Trust me, it used to happen to me all the time. And I'd be so scared, and I thought I was a food addict and that I couldn't control myself. And now I have no challenges when it comes to food. I mean that with my full-fledged heart. I never get over full. I'm never unbuttoning my pants. I'm never waking up at night saying, what the heck, why did you eat that way? I'm never waking up in the morning saying, what did you eat last night? You stupid, you shouldn't have had that, you know better. Nothing like that. Are you neglecting your emotional body? Or are you neglecting your feminine side? Leslie M. Thornton, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. This episode is inspired from a conversation I had inside the program. And sometimes I have different ideas pop in of ways to really support clients with continuing to take action on their healing journey around food, body, and weight. And this one popped in last week, and I was so excited to share it with you because it made a difference for one of my accelerator clients. So let's dive in. Many of us have heard about how men typically, biologically, will come into the world and their strength is logic and reason and decision making. And it is also where in our education system, we are trained to really develop our logic, reason, decision making type of muscle. And it is necessary. We do need to develop that. We do need it to do work and to make things happen in life. And some of us may have heard also that women come into the world biologically, oftentimes stronger with their emotions and with their intuition. It's a biological thing. And where in our education system do we learn to develop our emotions and our intuition? Where? I had a nurse go through the program in the past and she said, Leslie, why do they not teach us this in school? And I said, I know. I'm a nurse too. And it would have completely drastically changed my life. And I know every human being's life if we had this education around how to really master our emotions as well as our intuition. So this podcast episode is going to dive into that today. Another way that we could also look at this is I'm a neurolinguistic programming trainer, hypnotherapist, and when I educate people around how hypnosis works, I show the picture of an iceberg, and the iceberg represents the conscious mind. So that is the part of your brain that is trying to figure out your next health plan. It's trying to strategize what you should eat and not eat in order to lose weight. It is the part of you that is making your to-do list and immediately starts chirping at you the moment you wake up. That is your conscious mind. Most of us spend our entire life thinking that the thoughts that are going on in our conscious minds are who we are. When in fact, it is just your programming. It is just a tape that is being played based on how you grew up, life experiences, etc. It's very uninteresting, and without training, your whole life will just be automatic thinking that, again, you're going to identify with that can cause a lot of suffering. Also, a lot of not being able to produce results that you want to produce. So, for example, if you had a mom who was a dieter, if you were an athlete growing up and you were aware of your body early or your food because of that, any of those types of scenarios, that is going to make it so that your brain is going to be constantly looking out for your weight and trying to make sure that you are staying healthy and doing all the right things. Yeah, I had a very weight conscious mother. I was put in Weight Watchers when I was 14 years old. I was drinking Slim Fast shakes by third grade. Yeah, so just in those very early stages of life, my conscious brain got trained to think about, strategize, logic, decision, reasoning based on weight, based on health. I also have my whole family is in the health industry. Got nurses, got physical therapists, yeah, got all the different gamuts. Speech pathologists, we've got them. Again, that is going to equal your wiring. And sometimes that wiring is helpful, and oftentimes there's also the opposite side of that wiring that can be getting in your way of producing results. So if, using the iceberg analogy, you were to imagine traveling underneath the iceberg, you would notice that the ice does not just end on the top. There's a huge bottom of this iceberg, and it's even bigger than that top of the iceberg that looked so big from the surface, but then you scuba dive underneath and you're like, whoa, this is literally 10 times the size of what the top of the iceberg is. This is what we can look at as being the unconscious mind. Okay, it could also be looked at as what's inside the body. It's your intuition, it's where your emotions are, and it's where you're actually able to produce results from. Okay? And again, we are not given any training or development, unless you had very emotionally aware parents, on how to nurture and take care of the emotional body. This is feminine, again. This is where this is where real power comes from. And in life, what we want is to create a beautiful marriage between the two, to take the beautiful strengths of logic, decision, reasoning, but then also bring in the emotion, the intuition to then make decisions from this beautiful, full-bodied space. And again, diet mentality focuses all on just trying to control, manage, whatever from the conscious, and we're missing out on this most beautiful thing underneath the surface that's actually going to lead to fulfillment, happiness, peace, joy, sustainability, consistency, motivation, energy, all the different things. So what happens is again, we don't even know this exists. And so hypnosis was the first thing that I found, and then I researched all the science behind how it worked because I was so blown away by how it actually worked. I was a science person. How could this actually work? And found all of the answers, and then got so into it that I got trained in hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, to just really understand, to be able to help myself and help others live extraordinary lives when they really learn how to harness the power of the unconscious mind and bring it to that beautiful blend with the conscious mind. So hypnosis actually it quiets down the conscious mind that's buzzing around all day long, fearing, worrying, looking at time, thinking about how your body feels and your weight and your clothes, like all that stuff that comes up when you're not distracted by work, all those thoughts you have when you wake up in the morning. That is the tape that we need to just quiet down so that we can then we can do the deep dive into the emotions and into the intuition, into the unconscious stuff, so that you can get into agreement with your conscious mind, and then your actions can become aligned. All right. It's a really beautiful process. So again, going into that's kind of that. All right. So we've got masculine brain, we've got feminine, we've also got conscious mind, we've got unconscious mind, and we've got the reality that our society also, no matter if you're man or woman, is only educating us on the conscious, on the masculine. So this is also where, the feminine movement, which I'm so thankful for, don't get me wrong, is awesome, but also created some problems when it came to health and when it came to relationships, marriages, families that actually got together, because we started ignoring the emotions And we started just getting really crazy about mastering the thinking. Yeah, because then we're at work and let's go and let's do everything a man can do. And now let's like completely not even pay attention to this stupid stuff called emotion and intuition. It's not stupid. And then let me be clear, it's also not stupid for a man to be aware of emotions and intuition. Yeah, they're not going to come in typically with that as a strength. But if they did see like, and they harness the power of it, how much more powerful can they be? Yeah. And so same thing, the woman might have been trained to be all like that because we have equal rights amazingly now. And we can start to see. So the signs of being imbalanced is the fact that you have a food, body, and weight problem that's been lasting a very long time. You have health issues, been lasting a very long time. And I'm not saying physiological things don't exist, because they do, but I'm saying if there's other components that you can't figure out and you're still having a lot of trouble with it, we want to start thinking about this other thing underneath the surface that could really make a difference for us. So I'm just going to quiet down this nice little sound that's coming through my Slack over here, and that will do a good job. It might click again. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it rolling. So yes. So this beautiful blend. So here's the metaphor that I gave to my client. So awesomely, she was holding her grandson in the group call. And so sweet. She loves her grandson. It is literally her pride and joy. So excited that we got to be with her. And I said, okay, so let's look at the baby here. Okay. Literally, when we are born, we are only unconscious minds. So you are only emotion. All right. You are just literally an emotional body. You have no conscious, critical, analytical thought. How could you? You've never experienced anything yet, and you're a baby. It has not developed yet. So you're literally just this soul in this body that's experiencing emotions go through it. And so as a parent, you're literally, or as a grandparent, a caregiver for a baby, you have to do everything that you can to try to figure out what all these different cries need and what the needs of this emotional being are to help it get back to feeling calm, safe, relaxed, and peaceful. Okay, sometimes what it needs is food. Sometimes what it needs is sleep. Sometimes what it needs is to be rocked. Sometimes what it needs is to get some fresh air. Sometimes what it needs is to play some music. Sometimes what it needs, right? And you do all the different things to find out what that need is to be able to take care of it, and then they can feel calm again. Okay, at what point in time did we act like we weren't still emotional beings? We are still the same souls inside, being stuffed inside this physical body that still feels very uncomfortable feelings, whether it's emotional feelings or physical feelings running through the body at all times. And we try to act like we don't need to still kind of get to know ourselves and do a dance to figure out what is it that we need. And here's the thing, if you do master as an adult what you actually need when you feel uncomfortable in your body, and maybe even a little farther than that, you even recognize when you do feel uncomfortable in your body. Sometimes you're just working so hard and on such an autopilot that you don't even know. The next thing you know is your hand is in the chip bag and you're eating a whole bag of brownies and then you're freaked out saying I'm a food addict, when in reality, no, there actually was a lot of signs leading up to that we just weren't able to be present to because your mind is moving too quickly. That led to the hand in the brownie bag. And if we can support you to figure what that is out and find the root cause of it, you get your power back, and then you don't have habits like that happening anymore. Trust me, it used to happen to me all the time. And I'd be so scared, and I thought I was a food addict and that I couldn't control myself. And now I have no challenges when it comes to food. I mean that with my full-fledged heart. I never get over full. I'm never unbuttoning my pants. I'm never waking up at night saying, what the heck, why did you eat that way? I'm never waking up in the morning saying, what did you eat last night? You stupid. You shouldn't have had that. You know better. Nothing like that. You know, do I sometimes have a night where I had chocolate too late and then I recognize I can't sleep at night? Absolutely. but I'm not beating myself up. I'm not stressed about it. I'm not then taking it with me for days on end. I just say, okay, mental note, don't have chocolate too close before bed. And then I move on. Okay, this is what we need to support you with if this is resonating with you. So we need to acknowledge the fact that we still are emotional beings, and that it's actually awesome and a great way to spend your time to actually discover how to take care of your emotional self. And that actually will make your conscious mind that maybe you're using at work way better. You'll have better memory, you'll have better energy, you'll have better motivation, and that makes it so that you have the space to make better health decisions. But we can't run around pretending like we don't have emotions to take care of, that there aren't actual emotional needs, and that you actually do have an intuition. You do know your own truth. You have your own wisdom inside you. But if you don't even know about that, or you don't know that you feel things, or I've had clients that are just like, I don't even know what I feel. It's like, great, we're learning. And of course you don't. We're not taught this. So welcome, and what a worthy cause. So you cannot have a successful relationship if you have very unhealthy coping stuff with your emotions. You can't. Relationships are emotional. And if you have emotional stuff and you don't know how to take care of your emotions, you're going to end up in arguments. You're going to have a lot of wasted time and energy and effort on things that don't need to be there, that just actually prevent you from doing what you really came here to do on this earth, which is way more than to be arguing with someone about something that's dumb. I've been there. I get it. My clients have been there. I help them through those things. Nobody got time for that. Right? But it's going to show up there. That's a sign of it. And it's also, you cannot be healthy, like actually sustainably healthy, if you also don't master your emotions. Why? Because food is emotionally nourishing. Whether you consider yourself an emotional eater or not, it still is going to provide that level of calm down mode when you eat. It's just actually what happens. Right? Or replace it with alcohol, replace it with shopping, replace it with whatever numbing agent, you may utilize. Like, that's going to affect your health. Yeah. And so again, it's also going to affect your financial health. If you're impulsive with your emotions, you don't know how to handle it. And the way that you deal with it is to shop on Amazon. And all of a sudden you have all these packages and then you can't afford them or whatever it is. Again, it's going to affect you. And it's just, there's no guilt in that. There's no shame in that. There's acceptance only from me from that. To me, it's just furthering this point of the fact that you need to have a full, extraordinary, awesome life. Know how to be with your emotions, how to process through them, to know what there is to communicate, what there is to just do your own work on, how to communicate those things. You need to learn how to soothe yourself. You need to learn how to create an inner environment of peace and joy and love and all those good things. And if you don't know how to do it, don't make yourself wrong. We're not taught it. But you are an emotional being. You have emotional needs. And it is vast in how we get those things met. You can get them met whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship. My personal feeling is that if you do the work to attract a really healthy relationship, you get to be healthy because you're in a healthy relationship. Like, it actually can support your health to have that support of a partner who's supportive in those ways. All of that. Yeah. This is why it's a holistic method. This is why diets don't work. This is why you get to actually listen to this conversation and be like, have I actually mastered my emotions? Have I actually learned how to master my thinking that keeps me up all night long, that affects my eating and therefore my sleep and therefore my thing? Do I have anxiety in my life that is actually impacting my stress level, that I believe is actually probably forcing me to keep weight on my body because I'm stressed? What are you carrying around that you have not let go of yet? And what would it be like if you could actually let it go? How much more space, how much more energy, how much more time, how much more money, how much more everything would you have in your life if you could learn to release the emotions properly, healthily, learned how to process through them, learn how they worked, what came out of it, what things you might crave to eat because of it, right? Or what whatever. And it could literally be out of your conscious awareness of what it could actually be. And that is my favorite thing to support people with. Every single eating spell, every single trigger that you have is different than the others. But it can all, if you don't have the awareness, you can just make it all mean something's wrong with me. You can make it all mean life's not fair. You can make it all mean I'm not capable or I can't do it. You can make it all mean it's the genetics. You can make it all mean, and then you grow nowhere. You grow nowhere. I want to support you to look and peel back every single layer and help you get empowerment back and control back over your life circumstances. Are you taking care of your emotional body? Do you know how to? Is this conversation resonating with you? My whole life has happened because I have heard conversations like this on podcasts or out in the world as I was at courses or seeing some type of thing. And I felt that whatever energy was being exchanged from that person on stage or on the podcast, like there's some kind of gravitational pull that was kind of like, go towards this. And what my whole life has happened because I've trusted that go towards this. Okay, now consider this as your intuition. All right. And so earlier today, I was having a conversation with a client. I was like, oh, but how do I get the money? I need to, end of year is really a hard time. But I wish I had said to her, maybe she's watching this later, that for myself, I really feel into, because yes, the money is always a consideration. It's always like a bit of like a fear thing. But my body kind of knows, like when I feel attracted to something and for whatever reason I feel called, it's like that energy trumps everything. And it's like, I want to invite people to trust the energy more than anything else, that you will be taken care of when your body is actually saying yes. And if your body's not a full body yes, but you feel a little bit curious, go and book the calls that I offer, right? hpwl.co, our website, has the ability to book a quick 15-minute call with me or on the podcast. If you scroll down, please rate and review the podcast. I really appreciate that. And it really helps other people listen and get this insight as well. Thank you in advance for rating and reviewing the podcast. But if you scroll down into the comments and the show notes, every single episode has a link that says book a call. Every single one has a link for all of these different things. So if you have not seen that yet or accessed it, just know that is literally that call away. Just have a conversation and get those questions answered. Because maybe it isn't the right thing, but this conversation could help get you closer to the direction of what is the right thing. I just want to help you make a decision in your life so you're not just continuing to stay turning your wheels and not moving forward. Yeah, so take that action for yourself and trust yourself. And if it feels like the energy is right for you, then trust the feeling. I heard something recently that was talking about how our souls, they can't communicate in logic and decisioning. They only can communicate in energy. And so if it just feels like the energy feels aligned and it's a match, then follow it. Either DM me ready and take advantage of the year-end offer that we have of 30 extra days in the program, or book the call, hpwl.info/find out. Literally gives you access to my calendar. Book something in and find out. That's why I made it find out. Find out. Give yourself the gift to get that clarity. So I hope that this conversation has been helpful. Think of yourself as being that baby. What are the different ways to take care of that baby? In the program, we give you all the hows. We take you step by step through actually creating an exciting journey that you're going to have step-by-step process to actually clear out the space and then get clear on what is actually going to help you through those emotions, master those emotions so you can feel better. You can take back control of your health. You can take back control of your eating habits. You can get your energy back so you can do the things that you know that you should be doing to make yourself functional and good in life. And yeah, get on that right track. It's just literally one action step away. You deserve it. I love you, and we'll see you for the next episode. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.